Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another videos, another paid request, this time for Carson. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down in the info box over there or over there. It could be any type of video pretty much. Review, re-review, commentary, randomness, whatever the case. I'll try to do as best as I can, as soon as I can. But Carson wanted me to look into Gulliver's Travels, a 2010 film that was a pretty massive flop. Does this film cost like over $100 million? And did not make a whole lot of money, especially for that budget. Which I don't get why they thought it was a good idea to put that budget into this concept. Of course, it's based on the old story, Gulliver's Travels, but again, they really thought that an audience, even in 2010, would be like, yeah, I'm gung-ho to see that. I mean, maybe they felt, hey, Jack Black. At this point, Jack Black was in Shark Tale. That was successful. Tropic Thunder. That got some recognition in terms of like critical and fan praise. I love Tropic Thunder. He was in Kung Fu Panda. That was very successful. And of course, well, before all that, you had School of Rock. That did well for him. So at this time, even though films like Year One didn't do well, they're like, well, it's a concept and it's a big event movie, and maybe it'll bring the families in, which was not the case. And funny enough, I mentioned Shark Tale. This is from the director of Shark Tale, as well as a film called Monsters vs. Aliens, which I vaguely remember that one from back in the day. Jack Black. I like Jack Black. I don't think he always picks the best projects, whether it be films like Envy or this one, among others. But I do like him. I think I first recognized it and saw him in an X-Files episode called DPO, where it's about a guy who shoots out lightning, and that guy's Giovanni Ribisi, and Jack Black plays his friend. I remember that Jack Black gets killed to the tune of "Hey man, nice shot" on the soundtrack by Filter. And of course, he was in, I mentioned the movies he's been in. He was in Demolition Man for a tiny bit. He got shot up by Bruce Willis in The Jackal with that kind of rifle automatic cannon thing that Bruce Willis had. Anyway, he is a guy that's worked at a dead-end job in the mailroom for this newspaper, the magazine, the people writing for a living. But Jack Black, even though he's been there for a while, he can never rise up. He has a crush on someone played by Amanda Peet, but he never had the guts to tell her. When we first see him, we see him waking up. I do like the bit just from his delivery where he's using Star Wars toys. And he's like, he's my brother. Well, then you shouldn't have made out with him. Like the way he says that as he's playing with the toys, I thought that was kind of funny. That delivery. But yeah, he works in the mailroom, and you have a new hire, actually T.J. Miller, who will later be in Deadpool 1 and 2. But again, he has a crush on Amanda Peet, which I think it's kind of ironic because years ago, those two were in a film together. Jack Black and Amanda Peet, and that was Saving Silverman. So in that one, Steve Zahn got Amanda Peet, but in this case now Jack Black gets Amanda Peet. So again, interesting how it all works out. But Jack Black is trying to teach the new guy, T.J. Miller, and trying to act like he knows, and he knows what's all up, and that he's in control. But then, as soon as the day ends, T.J. Miller comes up and goes, "Hey, look, I've just been promoted. I guess now I'm your boss." And Jack Black is confused. His guy's only been here for a day. But as T.J. Miller says, "Listen, you talk the talk a lot, but you never do anything. You don't ask that girl. You don't do anything else." So you see how downtrodden he is. Until he gets an idea to lie to Amanda Pete. Say, "Hey, yeah, I like to write. I do stories as well." He fakes the story, plagiarizes it, puts it in. Amanda Pete likes it because she doesn't realize yet where it came from and goes, "Wow, you're doing a really good job. I got another story. It's to the Bermuda Triangle." Granted, I don't know how it would work that fast. You think, a little bit more detail would be in the interview process, but I guess not. So Jack Black goes down there. He gets a boat. He falls asleep. He realizes he's going to this storm. Like a tornado goes up, goes back down. He lands on an island. And lo and behold, on this island, everybody's this tall. Except Jack Black, who's a giant. And the story goes on from there. Where he meets, he gets in trouble, he gets imprisoned, he meets another prisoner that's a little guy, played by Jason Segel, who was in the Muppet movie and Bad Teacher, among other films. And he's in prison as well because he likes this princess, played by Emily Blunt, who's in films like Edge of Tomorrow and The Devil Wears Prada. Billy Connolly, who's been in quite a few stuff, The Boondock Saints, among others. He plays the king. Yeah, this other guy who likes the princess, who likes Emily Blunt, and that guy's a general, and he's going to be our bad guy for the movie. Ultimately, Jack Black saves the princess and the king in this series of events. So they look at Jack Black, the whole island. The whole place looks at Jack Black as this big hero, and Jack Black likes it because it makes it seem like he's got purpose and people appreciate him and respect him. So he's able to let them keep thinking that and get a bunch of stuff. Now, before I go further with the plot or anything else, I don't think Jack Black does a bad job acting-wise in this. He's just playing a regular, normal guy. But I think the script really let him down. First off, like, some of the jokes they have is just some of the, like, lamest, laziest, tedious jokes. For example, there's a bit where when he's first getting out of the ropes after he's been captured and he realizes what's going on, a bunch of the little guys throw these hooks to pull Jack Black back from his pants. So you see his ass cracked and he falls right onto a guy. So it makes it seem like the guy went up his Hershey Highway. I can't remember if we ever see what happened to that guy afterward. I can't remember. There's another bit where after saving the princess, the king's in trouble. His place is on fire. So Jack Black pulls his pants down and urinates and pisses on all over. And the joke is, oh my god, he's pissing on the king and he's pissing on the general and he's all this stuff. But at the same time, you're sitting there going, just wasn't that... I just don't think it was that funny. I just didn't think it was that clever. I just didn't think it was that entertaining, to be honest. At least to me. But again, that's just me. I'm trying to think what other stuff there was. Again, this is the pee, they get rid of the fire. And that's what I mean, like, the jokes aren't really that clever and very lazy. The other type of jokes, it's either Jack trying to get Jason Segel to pimp himself out to, or not pimp is a, but that's a different thing. But they really decided to go after Emily Blunt, so Jack Black's retells some lyrics from the Prince song Kiss. These other references earlier on, he's playing Guitar Hero 3. And so later he has this magazine called, what was it, Gamerhead? That has a Guitar Hero 3 advertisement on it. But granted, that magazine does serve a purpose much later on, because there's something in it. But yeah, I'm kind of sitting there going, okay, the special effects, I think for the most part are fine for the time period. But yeah, I just don't think the movie was that funny. To be honest, just didn't think the film was that funny. Kind of sucky. And so even though it's a fairly short film, it came off as rather boring. I mean, I can't say I was a fan of this film. Maybe back in 2010, if I reviewed it, I'd be like, oh, this is the worst film ever. Now, no, it's just a very lazy, forgettable, boring movie. Emily Blunt, it's funny, one of the things about this film is that apparently she had a multi-picture deal with a company, and she was forced to do this film and be the princess. At the same time, she was offered Black Widow and the Avengers. I guess it would have been Iron Man 2, actually. Iron Man 2. Yeah, because Iron Man 2 came out 2010. But she couldn't do that. She could not do that at all. She had to do this movie. And you tell that, she's not really proud of it. I can't really blame her because, again, you miss out on being Black Widow and all those sequels, so that potential money is gone. Then you're in Gulliver's Travels where it's not that good of a movie, it's not that funny of a movie, and then her character is just being very broad and being a princess and being a damsel until one moment near the end where she's finally able to punch someone and not be as much of a damsel in distress. Just when you see Emily Blunt and Edge of Tomorrow and what was it, Sicario, you see how she's much more capable of an actress compared to what she's saddled with in this. So again, you got people who, again, I just don't think the humor really worked for this and was really that funny. Other stuff that happens, he has them build stuff for him. So now he's got like this new luxurious, rich ass place because these little guys built it all for him. There's this theater where I guess he tells about his adventures, but instead what he does is tell these movies. So he has a group do a play on Star Wars, another one on Titanic. Although that kind of reminds me of another film Jack Black was in later on called Be Kind Rewind. That they kind of did that, where they filmed like little versions of these movies and put on videotapes. That's a film I found rather disappointing, Be Kind Rewind. I thought that was going to be a lot better than it was. At least for me. Other recognizable people, James Corden is in this. Thankfully not a whole lot, if you're annoyed by him, but yeah, James Corden is in this. There's references to Kiss, because he not only does he have him do little movies, he also little concert performances while Jack Black's on his like Guitar Hero guitar. Guns N' Roses are referenced because there's like a Lollapalooza type of event, and he's like, a song I wrote or I made, and then he just plays the Guns N' Roses song. And honestly, at this point, I can't remember what the hell the song was. Wish I could remember it. And it just, as I'm watching this, I'm sitting there going, this is what you spent over $100 million on? Like this script? Jack Black is doing what he can, but it's just nothing that remarkably funny. There's little moments here and there that he has a little smirk out of me. And when you get to the end, it's like, okay, here's a bunch of like juvenile jokes, or okay, there's an armada, go out there and the cannonballs bounce off you to hit them, and then he pulls a bunch of the ships, and that's it. The guy who likes Emily Blunt, the general, he doesn't like how Jack Black is being so primmed and propered by everybody else. So he's able to find that magazine, that Gamerhead, and in the middle of this magazine is a way to build your own robot, which that this guy takes literally and does build an actual robot that beats up Jack Black. This is spoilers. Jack Black admits that he's a bit of a loser. They get mad at him. They kick him out to this other place that then you're not supposed to go, where there are figures more giant than him, including this little girl that makes Jack Black a baby doll and puts a diaper on him and tries to make him kiss this male mannequin thing. And it's like, really? This is what we're doing now? There's a giant little girl that turns him into a lady. I don't know. I'm just sitting there going, can we not think of anything more creative or clever or anything of the sort? Well, at least you know that Jason Segel gets there and says, "Hey, I'm your buddy, and I know you look down on yourself, but I look up to you. You're not nobody to me." Amanda Peet, oh, that's another thing. She realizes what Jack Black did, and she goes to do the story her own, but then she gets caught. The love story between the two of them, just really very, very flimsy. It's just, all of a sudden she forgives him for what he did, and making a fake paper, fake article, lying to her. Then he admits that he told people, "Oh, yeah, I said you were my princess, and you know, because I have a crush on you for like 5 years." And he like info dumps all this stuff on Amanda Peet, and instead of going, "Okay, yeah, we'll talk about this later," or "You're doing what?" or "You said I was what?" Instead, she goes, "Oh, that's cute." I mean, man, you're easy. It just felt like it felt very, very easy for that the two of them got together like that. That there should be a bit more roadblocks in the middle, in between, but apparently not for this. I think pretty much Jack Black goes fight the general who's in this robot suit, and he's getting his ass kicked. So Jason Segel, I give him something to do. He gets inside and is able to sabotage some stuff so that Jack Black could beat the robot and do some flying like elbow drops. And then pretty much that's it. It's over. They go home, and Jack Black all of a sudden has a much higher job. Which you would think, I mean, maybe that's just Amanda Peet's decision. I don't know. Would there be other people you'd have to go through channel-wise to say, okay, yeah, we'll allow you to upgrade this person to allow you to go up in range, so to speak, and but I don't know why I'm looking at logic in a movie like Gulliver's Travels. I know it's stupid for me to do. So yeah, at the end of the day, very forgettable movie. Oh yeah, because Jack Black is into music. We gotta put in after he wins, and it starts saying, "Well, war. Come on, what is it good for?" And instead of saying absolutely nothing, they'd say absolutely nigh or not. Yes, that's right. And then he starts going to a scene, war, what is it good for? And then everybody else starts doing their singing and dancing along with the song. That I guess even though they would not know what the song was, you would assume, because we hadn't heard that before. Maybe it's meant to infer that maybe he has played these other songs, and even then, doesn't mean everyone's going to go out and synchronize dance and whatever. So yeah, it does that, and it's like, oh, okay, whatever, man. But yeah. With that said, like I said, it's a very forgettable film with some really tired, lazy jokes. I'm trying to think. Emily Blunt, I liked her as an actress. She's not really given much to do in here, and so her character was just very flimsy, very thin. Maybe it could have helped if Jack Black had more of an equal to play off of. Like maybe it was two giants. Jack Black is someone else. It was like someone that he could go back and forth and probably get some genuine funny moments because of the situation at hand. And even like the bits of action, it's kind of there, but nothing you're gonna run home about. So it just, I didn't really care for this one at all. It just wasn't for me. So I guess not for other people too, because it got a lot of bad reviews. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.